Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to my show. Tonight we're going to look into the problem when we have duplicate dependencies in Maven. And of course there are also solutions for Gradle, but I'm going to focus on Maven in this video right here. So the problem that we sometimes experience, especially if you are using something like Spring Boot or Quarkus or another cool framework with a lot of cool dependencies, is that you have a ton of dependencies. Try to look on the left side right here. You have a ton of dependencies. Maybe you have your own sub-modules, you have your own modules, your own dependencies that you want to add, and those dependencies again have their own dependencies that they add. This can give problems sometimes when you have the same classes just in different versions in your project, and it can give you some problems if you build on another system than or with another Maven version than the one that you're using. That's of course why you should always use the Maven wrapper. The Maven wrapper is just like the Gradle wrapper. It ensures that you actually build with the same tool every time. But the right way actually to solve these duplicate dependencies is to use the Enforcer plugin from Maven right here. And if you don't use that plugin, then of course there will be a lot of situations where you will be just fine, and there will be no problems at all. But there will also be problems where you would end up with some weird effects, and sometimes then you would have something that works on your own machine, but then when you build something for production or to be deployed in an environment, then it does not work suddenly, because these dependencies and the classes are actually the class is actually made in another order and added in another order to your class loader than you actually expected, and then you will have some problems, of course. Usually when you have these duplicate dependency problems, you would actually have them at compile time, and you will also experience them on your local machine. So a lot of times you will actually experience this problem before you will see it on the environment. But there is that risk anyway. So now I'm going to add some dependencies right here. So I'm going to add the Jackson core, the Jackson data bind in another version. It is right now version 2.13, and this is here I can actually see my dependencies. I have already Spring Boot. Spring Boot is right here. I have Spring Boot in Spring Boot. The Spring Boot actually includes its own. It includes its own Jackson, so that is why it is. This is why I'm trying to trigger the duplicate dependency situation. So first of all, the way to actually to find out, first of all, if I just start my test right now, then I would actually not know anything if I haven't added the plugin named Maven Enforcer that I have right here. So if I didn't add this right here, there will be no problems in this situation at all. But let us pretend that it gave us some kind of problem. So you have to go to your build section in your POM file, and then you have to go to the plugins section, and then you can actually paste. You can find the Maven Enforcer plugin online, and then you can just copy paste some code from the official documentation. I think that the documentation is actually quite bad. That's why that's also why I made this video, actually, because I actually had to go to an Oracle blog to find some good information on which rules that we're supposed to use. And regarding rules, first of all, we have something called executions right here, and you can name this ID whatever you want. So you can just say we don't want duplicates, and then you can say that you have this goal named enforce, and then you can actually configure your goal, your enforce goal. And here we can set up the rules, and here we have. Usually most of the documentation that you will see on the internet will actually just mention ban duplicate POM dependency versions. The problem with this is that this would only stop your build, and it will only react if you have the same version mentioned in your POM file. So this means, let's say that we have the JSR. So this is if you have the Jackson data type JSR, if you have that in version 2.11.1 and then also 2.11.0 maybe like this, then you will get a reaction, and let us just choose compile. So now I'll run Maven compile. Let's see what happens now. So now I will actually get an error which says that we have this JSR. We have that 2 times, we have it twice. So now I'll just delete one of them, and then we should be happy again. If you have, so now it's actually green. And the problem here is that it should actually not be green because we have duplicate dependencies, because we know that Spring Boot is actually using Jackson. We can actually see it out here. It has Jackson and it uses it in version 2.15 instead of the 2.13 that I've added right here. So we want something else. We want another rule to be enabled also, and that is the dependency convergence rule. Yeah, so if I add this rule now, and if I try to compile again, then we can see that when I enforce, then I actually get then we actually get blocked right here, because it is already used in this dependency right here. Spring Boot test suite uses something called Spring Boot starter web, and then again that uses Spring Boot starter JSON right here, and then again uses parameter names.jar right here, and then again uses the Jackson data bind in version 2.15. So this means that we both have 2.15, but we also have it in 2.11, and we get a really nice error right here. Dependency convergence right here. That's quite cool. And there are actually a lot of rules, and there are more than those 2 rules. Then that you can try to check them out if you want to. And the best documentation, as I just said, was at blogsoracle.com. If you go look right here, then there's something called Developers Posts Mastering Maven, the Enforcer plugin. This is the best documentation that I found to solve, or to you how to use this Enforcer right here. And there are a lot of rules that are not mentioned in the default documentation, at least from what I could see. But go check that one out from Oracle if you want to check out some more rules. What was it else? Yeah, so now we have those 2 rules. We're actually quite we're not happy yet. So now we can actually do 2 things. We can do one thing is actually to remove our dependencies. That's of course the easy part right here, and also the correct way would actually be to just remove those right here. But if you, let's say that you actually wanted to remove it from Spring Boot, then first of all, let us just see which dependency it actually was. So it was actually Spring Boot test suite right here. So then we go to the test suite, Spring Boot, the test suite. Here we have the Spring Boot test suite. That's actually my project right here. Spring Boot starter web. That's actually okay. So the first level was actually that's my project. I've just named it Spring Boot test suite. So and then the next level is this Spring Boot starter web right here, and this is actually where we have this JSON right here, Spring Boot starter JSON, and here we have the Jackson data bind. So what I can actually do in exclusion, I can actually do something. I can create an exclusion. And then I can create an exclusion right here. Then I can say that I don't want to add the com.faster.xml Jackson core like this, and then I can say that I don't want the Jackson data bind to be included right here, because I want to use my own version. I want to use 2.13 for some reason. I would definitely not recommend you to do this. There's a reason why we're using Spring Boot. That is because we get these dependencies bundled, so we know that these dependencies actually work when we are using them. So what else did we get done? Okay, so now we actually solved one of the problems right now here, but we have created another problem that was this dependency right here, Spring Boot starter. Yes, again, it's actually kind of the same problem, but we will the solution is kind of the same. We just create another exclusion, and then we say com faster data type this time data type, and then we can have the JSR 310 right here. This is the one that would actually enable you to register a time module in your object mapper when you are mapping JSON to Java objects, and also the other way around. Then if you are playing around with the local datetime, then the JSR, then this library right here actually will help you convert it correctly. So let us try to run compile again and see what happens this time. We have Spring Boot. This is the Spring Boot Startup Web. Spring Boot Startup Web. And we can see that we have it there in version com, fast XML, Jackson, data type, Jackson, data type. Yes, data type, JSR, this one right here. And let's try to run again. It's just me, data bind. Okay, there was also data bind, so there's actually two. So we have the, data type, data bind, yeah. So let us add those two. So we will have data type, and we will have the data bind. So we have the, what do we have right there? We have the Jackson data type. And then we have the Jackson data type JSR 310. And that comes from, okay, so now we have the test, this here, yeah, that's the test, that's the first level. So the second level, okay, so we actually have we get data bind, we get that both from, we actually also get that in this dependency right here. So that means that I have to go to the dependency that I added and then say that I want to exclude exclusions. And then I want to add that exclusion right there. Then we have the data bind, the data type, and then we have the core right here, and then we have the data bind, and that's it actually. So Jackson data bind, yeah. So let us try this now. Let us see if it works now. But that is a puzzle that we have to go through. But yeah, yes, now we actually solved all of the problems. But now we're actually using incorrect versions now in our project. So, and we do not like to do it. Of course, we don't want to do that. So I'm just going to outcomment them, because then you can still take this project if you want to, and then you can still use it. And then you can see what it was that I actually did right there. So now I'm going to remove all of these exclusions. Using exclusions, you should not use exclusions when you are dealing with Spring Boot, at least not on Spring Boot libraries, because there's a reason why they're bundling up these versions, and you will end up in trouble at some point if you start making exclusion on the Spring Boot libraries. Yeah. That's actually it. That's what I want to show you. I want to show the Enforcer plugin, and it was quite easy to install, right? Wasn't it? Let's just go through that again. You find the build section. If there's no build section, you'll just add it. Then you write plugin, and then you add your plugin right here. Current version 3.4.0. 3.4.0. Yeah, or at least, if you're in any doubt on which version is the current version, just go to the Maven official Maven repository, and then check it out. Yes, that's actually it. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for all of your comments. I hope to see you again soon. Have a great evening. Bye bye.